In this video, we're going to be diving into a game that blew away so many players emotionally and loved. This game is called Firewatch. Before I go any further, I just wanted to give a spoiler warning for those who haven't played Firewatch. I recommend you to play this game on your own time. You can play this game on your PS4, Xbox, or on PC for just $20, sometimes 10. The game is really short at just fitting around 3 hours. 3 hours for a compelling experience with an interesting story about complex characters going through life. I love Firewatch ever since the game came out, and I didn't play the game until a few years later until I got my PS4. But I've watched it in playthroughs from Jacksepticeye, Hollow, and a few others. Firewatch is a first-person mystery adventure game. It's really well made, but simple and straightforward. The story has you taking a job as a fire lookout in Shoshone National Forest, Wyoming. Stunning mountain landscapes with breathtaking views, you rely on a map and compass to navigate through the forest, communicating with your boss, Delilah, with a walkie-talkie as you spend almost your entire summer in your tower, and protecting the forest. The game is just stunning from start to finish, from walking around your tower in the forest, from going through canyons, or adventuring into the cave. What makes Firewatch so good is its dialogue itself. The voice actor does an incredible job at creating a strong and unique personalities. So now that the introduction of this game is out of the way, I want to talk about the opening of Firewatch and just really explain some of the most interesting things about this game as much detail as I can. The first 50 minutes of the game sets the tone and story of what we're getting into. I've always loved how the game starts because it gives a background about a man in his 40s trying to escape reality. Great music, explaining you through simple lines how Henry's life is with his girlfriend Julia. The game makes you do choices on how you spend your years, from how you meet Julia to Henry being stressed and caring about Julia with their dementia. As you progress, the music starts to change into a serious tone of how serious things are getting into, and the game makes you choose how you deal with these stressful situations for Henry. Right at the beginning of the game, it does really well at something, and that is setting an emotional connection to the character and its player. It's something that most games lack these days nowadays in creating a compelling story. It's games like these that make it so real in a way because of how emotional impactful it is and how you can compare it to real life. You see, in most video games, some lack the emotional connections and care in their characters. Either it can be its dialogue, setting lazy writing, or just forced conversations in order to have a connection between characters. Firewatch does a great job at making you care about the characters, setting the story straightforward and interesting. At the end of the intro, it makes you really sit for a few minutes and be like, damn. It can make you sad or just shock you in general. That's when the game got you hooked into an emotional opening and what this game is going to deal about. So now that I've covered that, I want to explore the story further on, just the gameplay, art, dialogue, and some others that you will see. I know I said this at the beginning of the video, but one of the most appealing things about this game is its dialogue. After a tiring 2-day hike, as Henry starts walking up to his tower, someone in the radio comes in.
Hello, Two Forks Tower.
Hello? Whoever this is?
It's Henry, right?
Yeah.
I'm Delilah.
Yeah, that's what the guy said on the phone.
So, what's wrong with you?
Excuse me?
People take this job to get away from something. So, what's wrong?
What's wrong with you?
That's a great idea. Go ahead.
Look, I just hiked for 2 days, so I don't really follow whatever it is you're doing right now.
You take a stab at what's wrong with me.
Fine, then can I sleep forever?
Sure, buddy. Okay, now go ahead.
Okay, you've killed 3 husbands. You're a black widow and you're just out here until the heat dies down and then you'll kill again.
Ooh, very good. Bravo, Henry.
Okay, I sleep now?
Not quite. Now you.
Okay, good night, bye.
Let's see. I don't know anything about you, but 9 times out of 10, folks out here simply got dumped.
Huh, is that it?
Close?
Good night.
Good night. Welcome to the job.
As you keep going through the game, it gives you just some general tutorials on getting to know the forest a little bit. Henry and Delilah notices that there's teens setting fireworks, so you go deal with that. One of the few unexpected things that happens when you progress through this part of the game is the moment when someone flashes at you. This plays a huge key role. More on this later. Then boom! Your tower is wrecked. So Henry has to fix it. Yay. Day 2 starts now. You have to fix the cable line, then find the teens. Turns out the bear ate them. Sorry, found them. A few days pass by, or a month, and things get interesting. In this section where we see the big fire coming out of the forest, Delilah speaks to you drunk and starts flirting with you, making you feel unease. Or, I don't know, whatever the fuck y'all chose for this interaction. But this whole conversation is important later on. Now, this is where the story begins to take a whole shift towards something unexpected and interesting. As Henry starts heading to the lake to go fishing, he stumbles upon a clipboard on the rock just laying there. He starts to read it and becomes shocked and disturbed about the information that's in there. He immediately becomes terrified and feels that someone is watching him through the bushes. We hear a distorted noise of a radio coming nearby. Once we found it, this happens.
Going shithouse.
Henry? Are you there? What happened, Henry?
I got hit in the head.
This is where the story takes a sudden turn in gripping us closer and closer and making us completely invested. I know I might miss some parts right now, but I promise to talk about it later in the video. I just wanted to get over the story and just finish everything. So Henry starts heading to Wapiti Meadow. He finds a huge gate surrounding the facility that they're trying to enter. Delilah instructs Henry that there's firefighters doing controlled burn in Ruby River. He starts going over there and he finds nothing other than a beautiful axe to break trees. Awesome. Then
I
suddenly,
had a thought.
Let's hear it.
You heard someone in the bushes.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's assume we're being tailed. Or you are, at least. Where are you right now?
Just on my way back, in and out of trees in the middle of nowhere.
Do you see anybody?
No, definitely not.
All right, so tell me what you think of this. Did you just cough?
No. Did you just cough?
No.
Oh, fuck.
Fuck.
There isn't any way someone, like another lookout, could be on this line, is there?
No. Not without tapping our radios. Get in your tower, shut the door. Don't leave, and don't use your radio. I'll call you. Understand? I will call you.
as shocking as this is, it's very scary just the thought of someone spying on you in the bushes in the middle of nowhere. It's just creepy. Delilah got us new radios. We start going to Wapiti Station. We broke down the gate and we start heading inside. We first encounter some equipment, then a small camp. As we start to head inside, we start looking for information on who's spying on us. Henry finds a wave receiver, which can pick up and detect things, and it starts going crazy.
Thing is losing its mind, beeping like crazy.
I can hear it. What's it after?
I don't know. I'm gonna go find out. Are you shitting me?
What is it?
There's a folder of reports here.
What do they say?
They're assessments about the two of us.
When I first saw this, it blew my mind. Well, not really. We found out that they're researching Henry and Delilah, so hey, that's exciting. The next day starts and things are not going so well. Henry starts heading out into the forest to find what the rave receiver is picking up. We find the keys to the cave, and as Henry goes back to the tower,
Standing in the dark in the middle of the woods.
Oh. Well, you're back in your tower. Maybe you need a drink too.
I'm not in my tower.
I am looking at a man standing in your lookout. And it's not you?
It is not me.
Oh my god, go.
I'm going.
we find a radio thing on the door. We hear Delilah saying that we have to burn down the place down, making them suspects that they caused the fire. Now we're at the part where we meet Brian and Ned Goodwin. As we start going into the cave, Henry explores deeper and deeper until a way out. We find a little fort, then we find the devastating truth of Brian's fate. Ned reveals himself and starts explaining everything that he was the one listening through radios between Delilah and Henry. He basically leaves and starts going deeper into the Shoshone. After that happens, it seems that we have have reached the end point where Delilah says that we have to leave because the helicopters are coming to get picked up. She says that they're here and that she wants to leave, but Henry stops her and tells her to wait for her. Henry quickly starts heading into her lookout, and once he gets there, she's not even there. She explains why, but Henry becomes disappointing and then he leaves. And that's where the game ends.
Good luck, Henry.
I'll see you when I see you.
Yeah, okay. Sounds good. Bye, Hank.
The most controversial thing about this game is its ending. Some people didn't take the liking of the ending, and it's because some of us were expecting some kind of earth-shattering reveal. From start to finish, this game has an interesting story and narrative that build up to the end that kind of let down so many people. Nick Mo's video explains that ending perfectly on how Henry feels and how the player feels. And everyone felt that way too, which is why Firewatch has one of the best endings in the video game. Understanding a man that wanted to escape reality and now has to face his problems head on. There's also a bunch of mysteries going around this game that weren't really explained throughout the game. One of the biggest mysteries is Delilah. It's been questioned a bunch of times from the community that Delilah may have been connected to Ned in some way. Since the start of the game, there have been many hints to that. The time where Delilah kept her line open to Henry, the new walkie-talkie speculation theory, where the new walkie-talkie looks like that it's from Ned because it looks so trash. And Delilah couldn't get it for Henry since she was like 15 miles away from him, so Ned had to get it. The moment where Delilah tells Henry if he haven't ate any berries, basically trying to cover it up or something so he can forget it. From start to finish, I never once mentioned Julia in the days that she was mentioned. It's kind of sad to see that Julia gets mentioned less and less throughout the game. And that's because Henry is being more focused into the environment of the Shoshone Forest, and so is the player. Overall, the story, as I said in the beginning of the video, is just incredible, bringing the writing, refreshing, and as the plot unfolds, captivating you through the lens of the compelling characters in this game and who are living on it. I recommend you to play this game definitely.